We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as... Two words for you: predator drones. You will never see it coming.
Internment Resettlement Specialist. This MOS plays an integral role in providing a uniform system of handling prisoners and detainees. First and always, these MPs are combat support soldiers trained to fight.
Welcome to Stop the Badges Weekly Nightly News. I'm Porter Vaughn. To Stop the Badges Weekly Nightly News. Today's Saturday, August 16th, and the governor, Governor Nixon of Missouri, has declared a state of emergency just earlier this afternoon and enforced a mandatory curfew for Ferguson, Missouri, from midnight to 5 a.m. Nobody's allowed to be out. They've set up a command and control center locally, and tonight's going to be interesting. Just to catch anybody else up, earlier this month Michael Brown was shot after leaving a convenience store. A police officer stopped him when he was walking, and there was an altercation. Details are unknown as to whether he pushed the officer or if the officer was trying to arrest him and then a gun was discharged. Anyway, at one point, Michael Brown, unarmed, ran away from the officer with his hands up, screaming, "Don't shoot," and was gunned down. He was shot 10 times. Since then, because the name of the officer wasn't released, no details of the incident were released, and no sign of any action to be taken was being brought forth. So the people, the citizens of Ferguson, Missouri, actually took to the street and protested peacefully for the most part. You know, there was the occasional guy who threw a bottle or tried to set a fire, and the police used that as an excuse to move in, disband the protesters, enforce a citywide curfew, arrest, shoot, smoke, and flashbang anyone they saw. And they were trying to shoot people with the flashbang grenades, with the smoke grenades, the tear gas canisters, and of course the rubber bullets. They were trying to shoot people with those. They were dismantling and disabling news equipment, and they even had a robotic voice, like as if you were about to see a movie, broadcast over right before they stormed and turned Ferguson, Missouri into the next war zone, with just gas flying everywhere, flashbang grenades flying everywhere, bullets flying into crowds and hitting everybody running down the street. Before they advanced, they played a recording of female robotic voice that said, "Please turn off your video cameras and recording devices," to tell everybody to stop recording. That was Wednesday night when they finally, just this past Wednesday, moved through. They shot a bunch of reporters, arrested at least 2 reporters, one from the Washington Post and one from the Huffington Post. They shot gas canisters and grenade canisters at Jakari Jackson, and shot Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs with rubber bullets as well. And then of course all the other citizens who weren't even there just covering the story but expressing their First Amendment right, rather than detain the one person who was causing the trouble by throwing the bottle at the police officers, they just used it as an excuse to enforce their martial law and lay down bullets in a blanket, widespread manner to hit whoever they could, even residents in the local area who had just come outside their house. So now in wake of that, and reports that they've been actually encouraging looting in the area by allowing looters to continue to enter, loot, and then leave maintaining possession of what they've stolen after they've surrounded whatever the facility is. Now this escalation that they've, obviously mishandled, provoked, assisted, they're now taking full advantage of by having the governor declare the state of emergency. Martial law is now in effect officially in Ferguson, Missouri. Curfew from 12 to 5 a.m. and a complete strip of your constitutionally ensured liberties to express your freedom of speech, to be out on the streets or even on your own property at a certain hour of the night. And wow, I would hate to see what would happen to anybody who tried to open carry during the blackout of curfew hours where you can't go outside your house. This city now looks like V for Vendetta or 1984 when somebody's out past curfew. So now, with all eyes on Ferguson, Missouri, we have to find out, is America going to be the next site for this? Is now when everybody starts realizing how we need to demilitarize the police, because at any moment within a 96-hour period they can go from...
This is the St. Louis County Police Department. Disperse now, or you'll be arrested. You want the parking lot? This is the St. Louis County Police Department. Disperse now, or you'll be arrested.
As you can see, tensions are high here in Ferguson because of what happened. The people are tired. People all over America are tired how cops kill and beat innocent people for no reason. This is what we have to look forward to all over the place. Look how quick, within a matter of days, they were able to go into a martial law status here in Ferguson.
At any moment within a 96-hour period, they can go from our peaceful citizen watching servants that tax the hell out of us to a bunch of tyrant ruled enforcers who are just mowing down our streets and loading everybody up with tasers, rubber bullets, grenades, flashbangs, tear gas, and who knows what else they'll want to bring out later. When it continues to escalate, these are all non-lethal forms of engagement that they're authorizing. The tear gas, the flashbang canisters, the rubber bullets, and they're shooting those at people indiscriminately. One, if you get hit with one of those, just like in the Occupy protests a couple of years ago, the man got hit in, I think it was Oakland, and he was bleeding out the side of his head, and he was knocked unconscious. Well, he wasn't actually unconscious, he was screaming, but they had to have people carry him out of there because he was disabled, or just confused, or couldn't move, or had a concussion. We don't know. But while all that was going on, the police just tried to shoot the other people that were carrying him out with the canisters. They completely disable you, and as a non-lethal, measure of force, they cause a lot of fatalities. Getting tasered, you fall to the ground and hit your head and crack your skull open, wind up a vegetable for the rest of your life, like the 13-year-old girl, or the 8-year-old girl who just recently got tased because she threw a temper tantrum. And that was by a police officer as well. And rubber bullets, they shoot you in the head or miss or hit your heart, or you have sensitive bladder, ulcers, cancer. You could die. It could rupture your spleen, rupture an ulcer, it could give you a heart attack, it could do whatever damage it's going to do, but it could still kill you. And when this continues to escalate, they're going to do nothing else but authorize lethal force. They might even authorize non-lethal and lethal force by use of a drone, the riot control drones that they're starting to roll out. And if they do that, it's not just going to be indiscriminately launched, but it's going to be launched the same way, where they're targeting actual people with the grenades, but with a robotic accuracy, with the accuracy a drone is able to provide, where people will just be literally mowed down in the streets mechanically, and they'll all be written off, not as 1,500 peaceful protesters accompanied by a handful of chaotic anarchists who just wanted to throw a bottle at the police and, you know, have their destructive day. But a handful of those people allowed 1,500 innocent citizens expressing their First Amendment right peacefully to be slaughtered by the police. And it was all swept away, and even the media that was shot, beaten, and arrested, save for the independent media, is reporting it as no big deal, they were real nice with us, and everybody who got shot deserved it because they were all looters. They weren't all looters. There was 1,500 peaceful protesters, handful of looters, and they shot everybody they saw. Reporters, homeowners, residents, whoever they got their sights in. Whoever they got in their sights. But that is all I got for today. Thanks and have a great day.
Around and protesting and speaking about what they know, what they believe in. So far from what you heard, the people here are very educated. They know about their rights. They're just trying to get across their point that they're tired of this kind of stuff going on. As you can see behind me right now, they're riot police, linked armed, probably 60 to 70 armed personnel with tanks and armored vehicles behind them. They are ready to push through the town of Ferguson and completely lock it down. What is that? That's martial law. That's going to happen across our entire nation because our government doesn't care. This is crazy. This is what America has to look forward to if they do not wake up. Listen to me. Wake up. Stop sitting on the couch and being lazy. This kind of stuff can come to your town and happen in a second. Know your rights, know what you're able to do as America, and stand up for that right. The stuff is intense, and we're going to keep following this for the next few days. Stay tuned to Infowars.com for more reports. I'm Joe Biggs.
City of